everybody, this is Andrea Perry, and I'm here today with Chris Johnson, and he's going to answer some questions about Juneteenth and the importance of this holiday. So, Chris, can you give me a little bit of the history behind this Juneteenth and why we celebrate it?
In 1863, Lincoln passed the Emancipation Proclamation, which actually freed people that were enslaved. Juneteenth started on June 19th in 1865 when General Gordon Granger went to tell Texas, pretty much General Order Number 3, that, hey, you have to free the slave because they are free people now. And it was a very tough time for some, but it was something that we prayed about. Well, not me, but our heritage prayed about, and we're happy that they were free. So it's something that we celebrate.
So I heard 2 years in here, 1863 and 1865. So it took 2 years for some of these freed people to be able to hear this news.
Yes, it was actually 2.5 years because the Emancipation Proclamation was done January 1st in 1863, and the freedom of the slaves in June 19th, 1865. So it's 2.5 years that 250,000 slaves was notified that they were actually free. So yeah.
So can you explain to me a little bit more of the reasoning that it took so long to get this information?
So I'm not a historian, but I do know some of the information that since it was a Confederate state and there was no Union members who fought in the Civil War to pretty much let them know and put this order like, hey, they are free, they pretty much stayed Confederate and kept the slaves. They didn't want to release them until it was,
yeah,
forced to, pretty much. So
there are many historical components to this day to be remembered.
Yes, it is. It was a day that a lot of African Americans found out they were free and knew that they can go find their family members who probably was traded and sold in the slave trade. So it was a monumental moment.
So you also took the time to be able to talk to some of our coastal students and see what they said about Juneteenth, and this is what they had to say.
On June 19th, 1865,
in Galveston, Texas,
many slaves got the word that they would be set free.
Juneteenth to me, as you can see, is everything. It's my family's freedom.
The first time I ever heard about Juneteenth was probably a couple years ago, but I didn't really know the gist of what it was about or the background at all. It was more of a festival my mom invited me to, and even though I was celebrating, I still didn't really understand what I was celebrating at the time.
Majority of the slaves in Texas did not know they were free. So my thought process on that is knowledge is everything.
It was very upsetting and also embarrassing that I wasn't even aware that had happened. I didn't appreciate that I didn't learn that in school, or that it took so long for them in general to be freed, since it was 2 years prior that was passed for them to finally be free. It was kind of sad, and I knew that back then people were separated. They might have been free, but their family wasn't. They had to find their family. So yeah, it was just upsetting in general.
It's not just a day, or it's not just a regular holiday. It's the holidays of all holidays. We were freed, and now they're able to go to school, play, do anything they want to do in life because of that day.
To bring more attention or awareness to not just white people, but black people, Asians in general, I think we should start with the school systems. I was not taught about this in school. I didn't learn about it till I was out of high school, and I taught myself.
Knowledge is everything. If you don't know something, look it up. Find the resources. Dig as far as you can dig to find out what you need to know.
So I think we should start with teachers. History, we focus so much on a little portion of slavery and then just skip over some parts, but we don't ever focus on what happened after they were freed, or Juneteenth specifically when they were withheld information of being freed for 2 years. Or encourage more parents to teach their kids about it. Even though my mom celebrated, I didn't know what I was celebrating. It was just something that we collectively did together. I just didn't know what I was learning about. I think some people are afraid to teach that side of history, even if it's not understood. So I think bring it to school systems and encourage more parents to teach their children, especially start young.
Happy Juneteenth!
And so I know that you come from a city that does huge celebrations for Juneteenth. Can you tell us a little bit about what these look like?
Yeah, I come from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where we definitely celebrate Juneteenth. We've been celebrating Juneteenth since 1971. Organization called Northcott Neighborhood started it, and ever since then we celebrate it. We do parades. We have black vendors come out and sell their farmers market food and crafts and all that type of stuff, and music is being played, barbecue. It's just a gathering of just really just celebration and just enjoying each other and our culture, and also sharing it with others and giving an opportunity to actually learn the historical background of Juneteenth. So it is definitely a huge celebration that we do every year, and I believe last year they did it virtual, so they kept it going no matter what. So that's
Awesome.
surprising, also a good thing,
So it sounds like food is a big part of the celebration, and it sounds like we have done something here at Coastal regarding food and the celebration of Juneteenth. Can you tell me a little bit more about what we did here?
Yes, I didn't know, but Chef Mark actually decided to contribute to Juneteenth by having a luncheon to celebrate the day, which is huge because I think it's a day that needs to be represented even more and bring everyone into the culture and the history of it, because I mean, Black history is American history, so I believe that we should all share in learning something that, a lot of people still to this day really don't know the history beyond Juneteenth. So by him just contributing to it with his culinary meal today, it was excellent, it was good, loved it. I really appreciate the intent that he proposed, to have a luncheon for Juneteenth, so it was awesome.